Hello, Christina Red Soul. Hope you all are doing well on this middle of the work week Wednesday. And if our country isn't becoming more and more ridiculous, I don't know what else to tell you until the day of the Lord. And of course, I won't say anything then. But good news. But before I get into the update about Disney and DeSantis, I came across this article in Blaze News talking about rainbow is the new black. Now, I mean, it just says and speaks for itself how every marginalized group likes to go back to comparing themselves with black Americans, and only very few of us stand up to them to stop them with their nonsense. If it's not homosexuals, it's the feminists. If it's not them, it's the illegal immigrants. So why should I be surprised? In the article, when I shared it on my podcast, it was almost like 15 minutes long when I read the article. So they had this image of a rainbow. It was really disturbing because God created a rainbow over a church, and then there was a black boot that intervened into the image. Now, I know, of course, Blaze News and not created. It's a conservative channel. They just shared the news. It could have easily been on Daily Wire or Conservative View or any other channel. Okay. So, yeah, they're just, they talked about the different generations, how they changed. Now, me being from Gen Z, when I was growing up, it was a no-no. So, who are Gen Z? Some of you, maybe, because most of my audience, especially in my podcast, are between the ages of 35 to 60. So, some of you know what I'm talking about. Born from 65 to 80. And that wasn't really big. It was a super no-no. Prior to that, the boomers. Of course not. Maybe you had a few closet homosexuals here and there acting. And then the silent generation where my grandparents come from, no, it was also disclosed. Then, all including with the Civil Rights Act, as it progressed with this, over time, that knowing that it was going to get worse. So, after the Civil Rights Act, then the feminist movement intervened with the Civil Rights Act. That's why these marginalized groups ended up joining blacks in things, and especially extreme liberal and modernized blacks just let it roll from their back like it's no big deal. Because they're, uh, with these people, it's mostly about social justice, even though social justice is not the gospel. Then you had the gays coming out in the 80s, the big grid in San Francisco. It's like some type of organization. I won't repeat it for contact reasons, so I'll avoid being flagged. But it wasn't a good era for them. Okay. Even Donna Summer, I'll give you a hint. Donna Summer spoke about this, and she got backlash. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So as it progressed, then these people wanted to come out of the military and things like that, and then they wanted to get married, and then it just slipped through the cracks. Boom. Under the Obama administration, even though originally he was against same-sex marriage, yet I believe in 2000, he passed it through the Supreme Court. It was passed through the Supreme Court, it's Congress, whatever, and it was legalized nationwide. In addition to some other countries in Europe, but they already passed that. In Australia and other oceanic countries. Now, the only ones that are where strictly forbidden are countries like some Middle Eastern countries, where not even women have rights. Despite of the fact in Saudi Arabia a few years ago, women can drive, um, and no um, violations physically or sexually against women, doesn't mean that these things are not practiced. And I just recently canceled my subscription with or my membership with Netflix because they have I found this out on Charlie Kirk show this morning. I found out that they have this series about underage girls with arranged marriages, and I wasn't going to spend my money on that, so I canceled it. So I think it should end by May 11th. That's their rules. Otherwise, I would have been done with it, you know. So all of this connecting, this woke culture, Ben and Jerry's is even getting involved. The ice cream from Vermont, Oreos is getting woke. Disney and Mickey Minnie, and all those other people are getting involved. And now I'm coming to that in a minute. Yeah. Um, According to my notes here, I just jotted this down. Now, I found this out on Matt Walsh show. I didn't watch it, but I saw the title like you would see, when I finish this video. They talking about hate crime, racial hate crime on Ben and Jerry's. Now, Vermont was one of those states that did very well under COVID. They stood up to like a lot of um, restrictions and things like that. Even though it's a liberal state, I'm surprised they would get, woke like this. But I guess, we pick and choose. Then you have Oreo. I didn't even bother doing a story on that, talking about some wokeism. That was also Matt Walsh's thing that he did on his platform. But the good news is there's always a patriot that's really willing to stand his ground against all this nonsense, and that's Governor DeSantis. Now, when I mentioned him before, uh, the left, people like AOC, with her confused rhetoric, doesn't even know how the two-party system works. Uh, coming after him because he had to take his sick wife to the hospital. Then Disney came at him originally, and then these homosexuals came at him with the don't say gay rights bill. I don't know what that was. It didn't even say it in the bill. They didn't even read it. So then they're just saying, oh, it's just a gay rights bill because they can't share their um uh phony marriage to the class. I'll put it like that because that's not what I really want to say. Yeah, honestly believe, and now that I think about this, speaking as a Gen Z, I was never interested in my teachers' relationships with their husbands because most of them were married, including the subs. Most of them were married. They shared that they were married, or I saw the ring, and that was the end of it. Now they probably just share something. Yes, I'm married, and I have two children, a boy and a girl. They may share their age, tops, and that was it. Now you got these people, and the Hodge twins shared this yesterday about this triggered homosexual that was saying, "How would you like if I separated the genders, boys and girls bathroom, they hate that. How about I ban Mother's Day and Father's Day? They also hate that because it's traditional family. Then he bounced up. I mean, it's on the Hodge. I mean, they have me cracking up like as usual because you know how they are. You go to the Conservative Twins channel and it's on there. I think it's about 9 minutes long. I'm not sure. And then I think he said something else about celebrating Christmas. Well, there are people that don't say Merry Christmas, but that's not going to stop us. You can't ban a holiday like that. Just like you can't ban Independence Day. Yeah, I mean you can secularize it all you want to, but those are holidays you just can't completely annihilate. That's no. Mm-mm. I mean, unless we're under heavy Christian persecution, but by and large, most of the 80% of people claim to be Christians. I'm not saying they all don't go to church and read their Bibles as they should, and and have a relationship with Christ, but they're supposed to be profession Christians. So I'm proud of DeSantis to stand up to these people, and we do need more real men like this to stand up. And he's not afraid, and we gotta pray for men like this. Um, that's gonna stand his ground because it's not going to get any better, as I've said before. That's why I build platforms like this to put whatever God puts on my heart to share these stories, um, and how much we need the Lord in these troubling times, and save our country, keep our country the way it was intended to be built. Um, family, God, family, um, and standing by the Constitution and the law. Yes, despite of this country's past sins, every nation had past sins. um, this is still our country. Well, I claim it as my country. I was born here. If you're not from this country, God bless you. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in and listening. Because in Diamond and Silk earlier video, there was a guy from Peru that called in. But so and I've gotten comments from people from the UK and Canada. Blessings to you as well. And I know you also face difficult times with toxicity in your country as well. Christina Red Soul, pray for our nation. Pray for our brothers and sisters suffering under the persecuted church. And I'll talk to you super soon.